Good morning, Stackers. Here's an August outlook for gold, silver, Bitcoin, and some other stuff with me, Joe Main, brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, and Stormrake, stormrake.com, your full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. Let's do a synchronized slurp. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, with the slightly new look, charting colors and stuff, giving it a go. Let's see how it goes for us. Here is gold on the weekly time frame, priced in USD, $3,355. So we're back in that range. It's the range that I've been saying we need to hold and close over in order to say at any chance that we've got a chance of a new all-time high in gold coming anytime soon. So, you know, in a matter of, say, weeks rather than months and months and months down the track. So that's good to see from this high and this low. Great. So just been in this massive trading range. I'll show on the daily time frame. Once again, from this high and this low, you've got the Fibonacci levels between here and here, from between the 0.382 and the 0.618. We've been flirting with that 3,430-ish kind of area. Back above here, good for now. Okay, obviously we just need to see it clear above here, please and thank you, and then you'll say, you know, really clearly we'll make a new all-time high really soon. And if you pop on, let's give it a bit of the old trend line stuff here. You can say there and there. I know I've had these drawn in previously, but roughly, where are we? We're here and there. I should do there and there right now. Yeah, just in a symmetrical triangle range, and on balance of probability, I've still been sitting on the fence for a bit. Do we go up? Do we go down? I don't quite know, but here's what we need to do. We need to hold this area here, need to hold that. Obviously, do something like this kind of thing. Ignore the pattern and ignore the time frame, but that kind of thing. And if you break through that downtrend, that's looking very good, and you'll give really good credence to breaking above that $3,415 level in order to say, mate, brand new all-time high in gold coming really soon. If that was that kind of time frame, then you'd be looking, if it was that kind of pattern, that kind of time frame, then you're looking about mid-September, something like that, for a breakout. That's if we go in the upward direction. But if we break down through here, this is what you really don't want to see. You don't want to see something like that. If you cross down through there, bad news bears. Okay, you really don't want to cross through that 0.382 right there of the 3,265.70 kind of area that we've been talking about. Pretty much it. Let's hopefully onwards and upwards to there. I'm just going to stay. Other people are much more bullish on gold in this sort of shorter term. I'm just going to stay 50-50. I don't quite know at this stage, because I can see the case for both. Because if you take a look at the monthly time frame, even though, and I'll pop this off here, even though, and we did it, interestingly, what we did right here is we did have that close below that 3,403 level. So technically it was a red, even though I'm making it blue now. It was a red month. Okay, and I was thinking, geez, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 spikes, and this closed lower than where it opened. I don't quite know. I just kind of felt like we'd see some more downward movement. But then I think it was it Trump did something in particular, bit of news, which put a bit of a scare. I think it was the nuclear submarine thing, I think, which kind of saw the price have a bit of a spike in the last couple of days. And now we're opening, still around about that 3,355 kind of area. So look, that's a nice start to the month of August. But just like, where did we open? We opened at 3290. So that's where we opened right there. See, this could potentially set up just like these others. 1, 2, 3, 4 big spikes. We've just opened the month. Could we spike somewhere up to this, around this kind of level? But then, similar thing, we close way down below here. That's actually really possible. So that's why I'm going to say 50-50 chance at this stage. I'm not going to say definitely going lower or definitely going higher, but that's what I need to see for gold at least remain above that 3355 level, please and thanks. And let's just follow maybe that pattern would be really good. Would you like to see that? I'm sure you are, because you are in gold for the longer term. It's going to $8,000, $10,000, possibly even higher in US dollar terms over the longer term. I'm very confident of that. That's gold. I won't do any minors or anything like that. We'll just go straight to the major metals. Here is silver on the daily time frame, price in USD, $36 and that's $37. Okay, this pattern is still playing out at this stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C correction. As we've been talking about, you've got that little accumulation, you've got the public participation phase and a little mini excess phase right here. And on balance of probability, more likely than not, I'm giving it more than a 50% chance that we do something like that and we come down to the belly of the best buy zone, or at least the top end of the best buy zone right here. That's anywhere between $35.30, anywhere down to $34. And this little mini range here, as I've been saying, sits at about 34. Sorry, so that's $35.30. That's like $33, but I don't think we get to the bottom end here. I think we probably find support somewhere in that zone within this zone, if that makes sense. So yeah, between 35.30 and 34 US dollars, and nothing is telling me yet as an update that we are changing track and that we're going to continue onwards and upwards from here. It would just simply be, for me, what would that be? I think if I go from this high and this low, you would need to get through bare minimum right here at that $38.90 area. So if you clear that $38.90 area, then we'll start talking, oh, okay, maybe we aren't going to do this thing and head down there. If we do something like that, and then you clear through there, and they go, okay, well, that was wrong, and then you've got to look at the opposite case. Pretty much it. Silver is going again to $50. It's going to $100. I've said this a million times before. It's going to several $100s later on down the track. But what goes up must come down. Watch out for that $35.30 area. And that's pretty much it for silver for the moment. But my outlook for August, all of August, if I pop it on the monthly. Yeah, on the monthly, I'm just going to say again, I think, yeah, I'm going to go with that pattern. I think that plays out, and I think August will be technically a closing lower than it opened. So it will be a down month. It'll be a red month, okay, in my opinion. And then, again, if we look at the time frame in which this could play out, now, it could play out sooner, all right, just be a quick, a bit of a spike and then down here. So that could be in the next week. I don't think so, but more likely, yeah, playing out towards the end of, closer to the back end of August than the front end of August. Down to around about that 34, again, 35, 30, 34 kind of area. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. And if you have a differing opinion, let me know in the comments. Where do you think silver will go in the much longer term? Do you agree with me? Do you think it's going, way, way higher than here? Are you actually really ultra bearish in silver? I want to hear that case too. Tell me why. Make your case. That is silver. Let's take a look at platinum on the daily time frame. US dollars 1,320 US dollars. We are now in the belly of the best buy zone. As we said, the best buy zone for me, we've been talking about anywhere between roughly $1,200 and $1,320. And where have we spiked exactly down to? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the good old Fibonacci rears its wonderful head. Okay, well, it's almost exact if you zoom in a little bit, but we found pretty much exact support here at the 0.5 again. So I'm taking it. Other people may take it from a different area. I'm taking it on the daily from this low and this high. That's my expected support range, the zag zone, the best buy zone, call it what you want. 1,260 is where we have found that support so far. And so far, we are back above that zone. So that's what I'd love to see, is it remain above there. Remain above 13, that 1320 kind of area where we are now. And that would be good. But don't be surprised if over the next number of days, couple of weeks, you do something like that where you may come down into the belly right there. What would be a great setup That would be really nice. If it bounces off there, would be perfect. Okay, then if we bounce off there and we pivot off there, then you start closing back above through that level. That is chef's kiss gold. And I'm not saying that's the pattern that's going to occur. I'm just saying that would be lovely to bounce no lower than, yeah, that 12.10 kind of area, 12.15 area. Cool, cool. And over the long term on the monthly, what's my monthly outlook? August outlook for platinum. Well, the great thing about it is we are making higher highs on the monthly time frame, as I've been saying. I think, over the longer term, we're going to break the all-time high of $2,300. We're going even higher than that. But for August in particular, let's see if I pop that back on. Down into there. Well, we've kind of hit that already, haven't we? Yeah, there's that. Actually, let me get rid of that. No, we're not there. August, I'm going to say, are we going to close higher or lower than in August? I'm going to be Fed City today on that. I'm not going to give you a prediction on that. So my August outlook, though, is not quite sure in terms of whether we close August higher than when we opened or whether we're lower. I don't know. But look, I do know over the longer term we're looking really good. But just watch out for that area right there of down into that 12.15, 12.10 area. Probably the lowest we would go if it's not right here. Cool. That is platinum, and I need to take a quick look at copper. I think I want to take a quick look at rhodium as well, and then we'll do Bitcoin and just general crypto. That's gold. Let's go to copper. Oh, as we've been talking about. Copper on the daily, US dollars, $4.50 roughly. Not a lot to say. It hasn't changed much since we talked about it last time. This is the weekly time frame now. From this low and this high, you've got the zag zone, the expected support range, and you don't want to close below that $4.20. That's pretty much it. On the daily, let me go to the daily for you. Daily time frame, we are now in extremely undervalued, extremely oversold on the daily time frame. We've spent now time in this best buy zone, zag zone, green area box right here. We just need to get out of it. That's it. So we need to clear back through that $4.90 area. Funnily enough, it's that $4.95 major area that we eventually broke out of, and we need to get out of it again. So break out of there-ish. Yeah, around about that $4.95 area, and then we'll be okay. Okay, just take note that on the daily time frame, we're in extremely oversold, undervalued right now. It does not spend forever there. Could we find a bit more of a low and then we come down to test that $4.20 before it takes off? Sure, cool. But I don't think we're going to spend much more time in this area, really. Okay, because again, we're extremely oversold, undervalued there. On the weekly, however, yeah, look at the weekly. We're not necessarily going to spend a lot of time in here. Again, let me get rid of that for you. Because look at this sort of the general range that you spend in. Let's see, around about there, we're kind of hitting it now. It's a bit of a general range. Let me show you. It's a general-ish kind of range, but it's kind of like there-ish, kind of where we are now. So you've had these successive higher highs and higher lows on the weekly time frame. Just kind of, it's a nice little uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low. Right there. It's gone back to that normal support range on the relative strength index, and it hasn't for a long time. It hasn't been since July of 2022. Okay, that we've been in extremely oversold on the RSI on the weekly time frame. It's always bounced around about here. So that would be the big test. Yeah, around about that 420. Speaking of higher highs and higher lows, again, what you really don't want to do is start making a lower low on the weekly. So really you could say right there at that $4 mark. You do not want to close there. Why is that color? No idea. You don't want to close and make a weekly, a lower low on the weekly. That would be bad news. So don't close anywhere below that general area, please and thanks. So that's there. Again, higher highs, higher lows, almost resetting, coming to test support there on the relative strength index. A nice little bounce here would be perfect. Clear that $5-ish mark back through that range there, and I think you'd be looking really good for copper over the longer term. I'm bullish on copper as well. With the gold and other precious metals. And finally, I want to take a quick look for the precious metals side of things. I just want to show you real quick. This is Rhodium. Okay, this is a Rhodium tracker. It doesn't track exactly with it. If this Rhodium spot price jumps really quickly, this tends to follow eventually, though. But it's tracked at roughly 1/10 of the price of physical Rhodium. So physical Rhodium right now is probably around about your 7,000-ish kind of area, maybe slightly higher, I think. But look at this. This is the XRH0 listed on the London Stock Exchange. So very clearly, you can see it's coming up to test at least. We have a big spike right there. And we closed last week above it, I think. I'll double check that. Or did we do it on the monthly time frame? Yeah, on the monthly, we just closed around about there. So that's a really great sign. Okay, so we're coming back to test this $695, $700 area. That's that downtrend line. We might find a little bit of resistance there, but once that breaks through, this might be an area where if it breaks through that $695, you might consider maybe taking a little punt, a little bet, do your own risk analysis, etc. on Rhodium. And again, don't buy physical Rhodium. It's too hard to get. It's too expensive. There's extra taxes and things, at least here in Australia. Don't buy physical Rhodium. Even though I love physical metals, look at something like the XRH0 on the London Stock Exchange. But yeah, clear through that 700-ish, 695 area. Very good. Okay, looking really good. That would be the first time. That's on the daily time frame. It'd be first time since May of last year that you'd be making a higher high on the weekly time frame. So just watch out. Don't go out and buy Rhodium right now unless you're just buying for the longer term because you're really bullish on it. But just watch here. If you get a close of the week above there, wherever that is, start closing a week above that 695. Looks good. Okay, and then my expected resistance zone is probably you'd be going to battle over here with these previous buyers. So watch for a spike up to around about 1,210 US dollars. I'd expect some decent resistance around about there. So what's that? That's what, 700 to 1,200. That's not bad. That's whatever that is. That's like that's a percentage, Joe. That's the one I want. Oh, I can't see it anyway because I've got some different things on there. I can't see what it is. That is a text for no style. There. Can't see what it is. Doesn't matter. It's like a 40% move, something like that. Anyway, that is Rhodium. Of course, if you want to buy precious metals, go to Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. Best bullion dealer in all of Australia. Yes. It's true. No, I'm not joking. Why 20 or more items in your shopping cart? One of this, two of that, three of that, bit of gold, bit of silver. You don't have to buy 20 of one thing, but you have 20 or more items in your shopping cart and it's free shipping Australia-wide, sign-on delivery, express delivery. They don't just send it through snail mail because, you're getting it for free, right? Express delivery, sign-on delivery, fully insured, all that stuff. Come on, man. And they also price match against the other bullion dealers. So, go to their website, perthbullion.com.au. You'll see how amazing they are. For all your physical bullion needs, let's do some crypto. Let's go to the Stormrake panel right here. Of course, the show. This segment is brought to you by Stormrake and Mastering the Market. Stormrake, your full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. Get 2% brokerage fees for life when you sign up with my account. I'll do the quick plug right now. Why would you want to sign up for Stormrake? Stormrake.com, because they're a full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. And they charge you 3.5% brokerage fees. If that sounds like a lot to you, it's actually not a lot when you think about what you get. It's full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. For you cryptocurrency natives, this probably isn't for you anyway, because you just buy on exchanges. You know what you're doing. What about your friends and family? They're going to bug you so hard later on down the track when crypto is where we think crypto will be eventually going to, that you're going to want to get them off your back. Literally, you'll have every man and his dog going, oh, you've been in crypto for a long time. How do you, I've got a, oh, can I do, oh, my neighbors, just send them to Stormrake, stormrake.com. Now, stormrake.com will charge you 3.5% for a cryptocurrency full service brokerage fees. However, if you sign up with my link, I'll pop the link somewhere, 2% for the life of the account. That's a 42% saving. So just go do that. Get them to sign up for an account, and then later on down the track, they buy Bitcoin, they've locked in that 2% brokerage fee. All right? Get the normies off your back with stormrake.com. That's the new slogan. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Here we go. All right. Here is Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, price in USD. Bitstamp exchange, $114,250. Let's go to the daily and see where we are. Cool. All right, so we have been in that expected support range, and we've spent some time in there. Where is it? Is that you? No, it's not you. I'll just draw a new one. That's easier to do. From this low and this high, there we go. There's your expected support range, and we've come back to test previous support. Okay, pretty simple. It's very simple. This is a support or a potential support and resistance flip. Okay, very easy. Okay, let's go right there. You would call it, if you want to call that the area, sure, from there and there, no problem, whatever it is. Previous resistance broke through, it has now become support, and it's bounced exactly off it. We also bounced within the expected support range, the zag zone, the best buy zone, from this low and this high, and we're right there. So far, looking all right. I just need to see it get back above, and we have been talking, and it finally broke down through. It was remaining above that 0.236 area of that $117,000 area roughly. We broke through that support zone right here, but we found, look, again, resistance becomes support. As long as we can get back above the 0.236 there of that $117,000 area, get back within this support range, and then finally break out of it, then we're good. Okay, so on the longer term, even though, oh, it's a dip in Bitcoin. Yes, it's a dip in Bitcoin. If you have a look on the weekly time frame, what is this? Higher highs and higher lows. There is nothing yet to say that Bitcoin is heading down from here. Okay, you're in a bull market. Okay, at the moment, from here, higher high, higher low, higher high. Do we bounce off here and make a higher low? We've just come to exact resistance right there. If it turns around, closing anywhere above that $120,000 will give good merit to it. Let me get rid of you and you and you. Let's do the upward direction. Let's go that and just get rid of those for the moment. And let's just do from this high, and if this is the low, if previous resistance has become, where are we? If previous resistance here has become support, and now that's the low, where do we need to clear through? And it's through, yeah, it's actually right there. So that's your new expected resistance range, and that's the top end there at 119,000. So a little bit less than that 120, which I talked about before. Get through there, and you're looking great. Fantastic. Again, ignore the time frame, ignore how we do it. But we just got to get through this zag zone here. You start closing days, particularly start closing weeks above that 119,000, and you're just looking fantastic for a higher high in Bitcoin. Where we go to after that, no one knows exactly. My outlook for, let's do a quick, because we're doing outlooks for August outlooks. August outlook, where Monday the 4th of August in Australian time. There is nothing telling me, look, in all honesty, we could easily make a new all-time high in August. That's actually doable. So I'm not going to say it's 100% happening, but my outlook is I wouldn't be surprised if we make a new all-time high in August. But on balance of probability, I do think we move higher. So I'm 50%, more than 50% sure that we see higher prices, than we do see a higher move in Bitcoin in the next couple of months at least. Where we can spike up to, I don't really know. But of course, as you know, Bishop from Stormrake, the CEO of Stormrake, actually believes that $200,000 Bitcoin could be a thing. If I show you right there, that's his little dot point right there. $200,000 by the end of 2025 is really doable. I don't know. It's actually, he makes a really good case for it. It is doable within that time frame. But I do think a new all-time high is coming. I don't think we're going down from here, and then I don't think the all-time high is in for Bitcoin for 2025. That's what I'm trying to say. Cool. But August outlook, yeah, I would not be surprised if it makes a new all-time high in August. Just does a quick little flip, because this is on the weekly time frame. Does a quick little flip around, and in the next few weeks even breaks that. That's actually, what's that? That's the end of August. There you go. There's the start of September. What, are you saying you can't do that kind of thing in that small amount of time? You can easily do that. So, new all-time high in Bitcoin could be coming in August. It's not out of the realm of possibility. What would negate that? Breaking down through that previous resistance. So resistance becomes support. If you start closing down in there, then you ask the question, well, hang on a second. Why is that resistance not remaining as support? Why aren't they buying at previous resistance? That's what should happen. You should be doing exactly what we're doing now. If it starts getting below that $112,000 area, you're asking, whoa, why is that? That's something you got to, not good. Okay. Anyway, that is Bitcoin. Cool. Let's take a look at the general altcoin market. Then what I'll do is on my X channel, x.com/itsjoemain, I'll do some individual crypto, okay, like my favorites like Toshi or XRP, ZBCN, GRT, a whole bunch of them. Okay, so head over to x.com/itsjoemain for individual crypto and put a comment below somewhere if you want me to look at something specific. Cool. Here is others on the weekly time frame, priced in USD. It's priced in, it's a market cap, sorry. It's $271 billion market cap. Again, on the weekly, we're making higher highs and higher lows. All right. Higher. Well, higher, sorry, that was the first high. Okay, so it wasn't higher than there. Okay, so it was higher than here. So higher high than there, higher low than here, higher high than here. Higher low, it looks like that we're forming, so it's in currently a bit of a mini bull market. That's all you really need to say, I guess. The trend is your friend. Yeah. On the daily time frame, we had that fake out right here. We failed to close that 320 billion. So oftentimes from a failed move, it's fast move in the opposite direction, and then we closed exactly around that, there we go, pop that on Joe, around about that, 0.618. If I get rid of that for you, give me a second. You can go away. Here we go, right there. And I'll do a new one because I've got a new fancy one here. If I take it from this low and this high, yeah, you can see it bounce. Oh, sorry, at the 0.5 right there. If you take it from that low, okay, so if you take it from this low right here, that's at the 0.618 and if you take it from here, it's at the 0.5, so it's both bouncing off key Fibonacci levels. Some people will use that, some people will use that. I don't really care which one you want because it's making higher lows currently. So that's it. All you need to know is be careful around here. Be careful. I am not in crypto at the moment. I will be straight up honest with you. I got a little burned on a little leverage trade. Nothing fancy, nothing major, but it's like I should have followed my own rules. And my rule, which was going to be, and this is the problem with every trader. It's all about your mindset, right? You've got to stick to your rules here. But I went, I might just take a little trade, and I got burned. Right down in here. Where were we? It bounced off this general area here, came up to here. I'm like, that's looking all right. And then it turned over and I got stopped out. Not great, but it is what it is. But my point was, I was really wanting to wait, and I've already had that alert drawn in right there. Okay, that's at that $320 billion area. If you have a look on the weekly time frame, you just don't know yet. For me, I just can't say really, really confident until you start making a new higher high on the weekly time frame. Okay, so it's got to clear that $320 kind of billion area. You start doing that, and then my alert goes off, then I'll be like, oh, that's really good. And then that's be a good move to around about that 350 kind of billion. The big kicker is right there at that 345, 350 billion kind of area. You clear through that there, and that's looking really good. But look, that 320 is something that I'll really consider. If it closes up through there, then I will probably be in crypto in a decent way. But as right now, I'm not, because I'm going with the message of the market. It's great to see again, higher high, higher low, higher high. Just being careful. I want to see that, and then we'll talk about higher. Cool. That is general crypto. I will do individual crypto on my X channel, x.com/It's Joe Main. If you have any other chart requests or anything like that, just please let me know. Let's finish this baby with a synchronized slurp. Whatever you're drinking, let's slurp it together. It's the slurp heard around the world. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Thanks for watching a general August outlook for gold, silver, Bitcoin, and other stuff. My name is Joe Main. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. Remember, I go live on Tuesdays and on Thursdays for all that amazing stuff too. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking whatever you're stacking, and I'll speak to you soon.